get killed on bus stops, going to school, on your way to school, leaving out the house 7 in the morning, shit like that. You would get killed like that easy in Chicago.
This 63rd. He got 3 of them on him. He got 3 of them on him.
Definitely 63rd.
Niggas not out here on these blocks for real. Niggas not sliding on them ops for real. Niggas not sending them shots for real. That's why I don't take a lot of these niggas serious. I swear I don't. I don't take none of these niggas serious, G. And that's why I say anybody can die. On Took Great, you play with me and man, I swear to God, we gonna kill you.
When you step out that porch, you a man by yourself. Like, it don't matter what age you is. Like, it's the same struggle, the same story that everybody got. Mama ain't got this, daddy locked. It's the same shit. So it's on you to overcome.
The streets don't really love nobody at all. Life really real. A lot of people gotta wake up out here. This shit no game.
Joseph Coleman, aka LIL JOJO, was born on April 6, 1994 in Chicago, Illinois, to his mother, Robin Russell, and his father, John Coleman. Now, when JoJo was just a few months old, his dad got locked up on attempted murder charge, and he would spend the next 13 years in prison. So he didn't have a father figure growing up, him or his brother John Coleman Jr., aka Swag De Niro. Now coming up, they were extremely close to each other. Even though they had different mothers, their moms wanted the two boys to be raised together. And JoJo and his brother, they always lived in the same neighborhoods, had the same friends, ran with the same crews. They grew up on the south side of Chicago, the Inglewood area. JoJo was surrounded by poverty, gangs, death, and prison. And the area he came up in was dominated by the insane gangster disciples. And he didn't have no guidance. His brother didn't have no guidance. Their dad was in prison, and their moms was doing the best that they could, trying to keep both of their sons on the right path in life.
Coming up, we ain't really had no father, I guess you could say. So that's why we were so close, you know? Some stuff you can't talk to moms about.
And luckily, reinforcements would arrive at the birthday party of LIL JoJo's brother, Swag De Niro. At his 14th birthday, their dad surprised him. He had got sentenced to 13 years in prison, and he popped up on him. He was out. He was a free man. And according to the boys, they said it was like the best time in their life. They went from having nothing, starving, struggling, to having anything that they wanted. Jordans, clothes, good food, but they got discipline too. They said their dad would be on them about, the gang stuff and getting in trouble, staying on the right path. So they had structure that they had never had. But now their dad was home. Everything was right in the world. But as quick as that happiness came, is as quick as it left, because just 1 year after being released from a 13-year sentence, their dad, he was sentenced again on drug charges to 22 years in prison. Their dad was gone again. Their guidance was no longer there. And yes, they loved their moms, respect their moms, but they needed that male figure. And now they had to go back to the only other father that they ever knew, the streets of Chicago. They will form a set called 069 Brick Squad, somewhat of a subsidiary to the Insane Gangster Disciples.
Yeah, I'm say first, on dog pound shit, BDK shit, Brick Squad,
And JoJo and his brother would start to get deeper and deeper into the streets. Even though JoJo's brother's mom started to come up in the world a bit, and she was able to actually move out to the suburbs, and they moved LIL JoJo out there too as a way to keep both of them away from the inner city. But that gravitational pull of the streets was just too much, and they was right back at it. Now, they never really got into drugs because of what they seen their dad go through, getting those 22 years, but they were very active, especially JoJo. He banged his set to the fullest, and he didn't like to tolerate any disrespect. That's why in April of 2012, when him and his brother was riding around, a song came on the radio that would change Lil JoJo's life forever. A song by Lil Durk called L's Anthem, where he took direct aim at Lil JoJo's set. After hearing this song, Lil JoJo was furious. Felt like the whole city and now the whole country was listening to his set getting dissed, and he wanted some get back. And even though he had never rapped a day in his life, he started to go under the rap name of Lil JoJo. He wanted to put his ops on blast on the radio and make a diss song for them. And plus, his brother had already been rapping since he was like a freshman in high school. He would go on to release songs like Tied Up and Have It All featuring his brother Swag De Niro. But it would be in September of 2012 when the world would take notice of Lil JoJo when he released a music video for his song BDK.
These niggas claim 300, but we BDK. Be on the block, damn that every day.
Some people in Lil JoJo's crew told him not to release the song. Some people said, yeah, do it, do it for the gang. His brother, he said he told him to do whatever it is he wanted to do. And it turned the streets of Chicago even into a bigger war zone than it already was. Lil JoJo would go back and forth with rappers on social media, people like Fredo Santana, Lil Reese, Lil Durk, and most famously, Chief Keef, who at this time was on fire. He had the album Finally Rich out, he had the hit song I Don't Like, and he would tell JoJo he felt like he was only dissing because he was clout chasing, trying to ride his wave. But for Lil JoJo, it was all personal.
Boy, you a bitch, boy. Hey, bitch, you little bitch. Yeah. Fuck is wrong with you, boy? Hey, I am bricksquad. Yeah, bricksquad, boy. Fuck is you talking about, boy? Over your little bitch.
The beef reached a point where it was beyond social media, beyond just diss tracks. It was blood on the streets, and the streets of Chicago stayed dangerous. But JoJo has never been the one to fear danger. But unfortunately, that lack of fear would lead to his demise, because on September 4th, 2012, Lil JoJo would spend that evening going back and forth with his ops, daring them to get at him. Eventually, he even dropped his location, and that decision would prove fatal, because at about 9 p.m. that night, somebody pulled up on him and started letting off shots, about 6 of them to be exact. Lil JoJo began to run, but he got hit in the back with no exit wound. And since there was no exit wound, that's what made people believe that whoever shot him must have been from a distance.
We all right there. We see JoJo on the ground, ambulance. They turn him around and you see a big ass hole like this, boy. I'm like, boy, hell no, he couldn't get hit like 1 time for my life, bro. The girl said they shot like 6 times. They started to go.
This BD and GD, I don't think this shit gonna ever stop.
It was first reported that he was on a bike at the time he got shot, but he was actually on foot. Somebody else that was with him was on a bike, according to his brother. After the reports came out that he had passed, his ops, they took to social media, clowning him, disrespecting him, celebrating the death of Lil JoJo. But while they were celebrating, his neighborhood and his mom were left grieving, searching for answers.
Who do you think is responsible for your son's death?
Chief Keef.
You believe he himself pulled the trigger?
I don't believe himself pulled the trigger. I believe he paid somebody to do it.
After his death, his neighborhood would rename itself to JoJo World in his honor, but his murder was never solved. They had suspects, but nobody was ever charged. A lot of people pointed the finger at a man by the name of D. Rose, who was down with 600, a part of the team that JoJo had been beefing with. A lot of people also brought up Little Reese's name too, because they used to have a lot of social media back and forth. But none of those theories were ever proven to be true. And according to Little JoJo's brother, Swag De Niro, the person that killed JoJo was murdered a year later. And the cycle continues. And after the death of his brother, Swag De Niro said he kind of went crazy, got deeper into the streets, to the point it led him to a federal prison bid. And while he was locked up, he just so happened to see his dad. But he said when they seen each other, there was no words spoken. They just looked at each other. And he already knew that his dad was thinking like, man, everything was just getting good. And now look at us. It's a crazy story, man. And it's definitely tragic. Lil JoJo had been rapping for less than a year, and he was already blowing up. It seems like he had that star potential, but unfortunately, we'll never be able to see that potential fulfilled due to the street life. And Lil JoJo, he was only 18 years old when he died, man. Rest in peace.